To accept all the members.
Yeah, to accept all of them. Because we need a new committee, we need a strong committee checking this out.
Yeah.
That's a strong committee right there, too.
You're not kidding. That's really terrific, yeah.
Okay, so Joe made the motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? All right. Thank you guys again for
Thank
the
you.
Thank
for
you.
coming out to do that. And Nathan's going to talk about.
On that committee, Nathan and I will be there as well, ex officio.
Thank you. I was just going to ask that.
Yeah.
That happened. Thanks.
Yes, unfortunately, yeah, Kevin is going to try and do that committee, but he can't. Moving out of town too. So you working together, you're going to
He makes it difficult.
put together a policy, working on a policy.
For the recycling. Do you want to table this trash and recycling policy until that gets going, or?
It's up to you.
I think, well, if I may, I think it would make sense to hear what the committee has
Yeah.
to say
I
before we
think
start looking at a policy.
most of the policy that I have to present tonight is just operational policy stuff. I was gonna ask to table it anyway, because I wanted the transportation manager to see it before we did this, so maybe we just table it and.
I'll make a motion to table.
I mean, we have, you know, at this point, we have an existing policy.
No, we don't.
We don't.
That's why I'm here. We don't have one. What I'm running into for problems is it's more neighbors complaining about neighbors not putting the trash in trash barrels, and I don't have anything that says you have to put it in a trash barrel.
Well, the policy does say that.
Yeah,
We
I
don't
thought
have
it-
one
Yeah.
now.
I thought it did.
We had one for a while, and it got pulled out for,
It got pulled
In one of
out
the
because I
contracts.
found
Let's
no
table it.
record that the select board had ever approved it.
So, I mean,
It was definitely there.
I will agree, it used to be there, and I had
Didn't I
Sue
read
go
it
digging
in
for
my
it.
e-packet?
Because that's what he put in there.
That's what we put in.
That's what we
Ah.
put in. I
Ah,
found
okay.
the old policy, updated it with what's currently in the contract and with what Nathan wanted. Because the point of this was so Nathan had something he could hand to people who were fussing to say, this is the policy, this is what you have to go by.
It used to be you're only allowed two trash
trash
cans,
barrels,
32
right.
gallons, had to have your name on them.
Correct.
Right.
Yep.
It's an administrative problem that we don't have a vote that we can find, so we're just,
Right.
Oh,
so that's
Well-
all, so we were just trying to.
So
Just
maybe
trying
we'll
to
go
correct
forward with
it.
this, and we can
So
adjust
that we
it
had an
later
enforceable,
on.
an enforceable
Excuse me.
policy.
Thank you. So, in that case then, we can have the committee work on that.
Sure,
What
if
they
you- if
did.
you'd like to do that. But I'm not sure it's going to intersect with, you know, the mission that was originally discussed for this committee, but it's, how big a problem is this for you, Nathan?
Well, it's starting to get we're starting to run into some bumps. I've got one individual that is willing to go tangle with his neighbors, I guess, and it is a problem in his area. They're putting trash bags out on the side of the road. The animals are getting into it, and so on and so forth.
all I gotta do is drive to work and I see it everywhere.
Right.
Everywhere.
Correct. And the trash guys are starting to wonder how many trash barrels they're supposed to be picking up. So it's slowly starting to become a problem.
Yeah, this is more of a hygiene and sanitation problem than a recycling problem, but anyhow.
It really exploded over this last year. We've had a lot of people that never were here in the winter that are staying here in the winter, and they're throwing their trash bags on top of snowbanks, and the plow trucks are hitting them. And I've got nowhere to. I can't force them to do anything.
well, what I would suggest then is we table it for the time being, let the recycling committee at least have a initial meeting,
Okay.
kind of set out some timelines in that, and then see if we need to do an interim approach to get something done there, or depending on what the timeline's gonna be on that, then we
Okay.
can have more of a consolidated approach.
I know we used to have a policy because we
Yeah.
used to have to put
Right.
orange stickers on the
Yeah.
trash barrels.
Yeah.
Just can't find the
It's
vote.
in the contract, and there was a policy written. I just couldn't find any record that the select board had ever approved the policy.
Wow.
All right, so we need a motion to,
So
I'll
move
make a
to-
motion to table.
Second.
okay. All in favor? All right, so then Rolf is going to be the chair of that committee?
No. not
Or on that
necessarily.
board to get everybody there?
I'll be on that committee, I'll not necessarily be the chair.
No, but I mean as far as organizing them to get them together, and then they can pick chair from there. We'll send out an email.
Correct.
Okay. All right, so Kathy Goslin and Susan and Grace and stuff, you get an email. Okay, great, thanks. Thank you, Joe. All right, the comprehensive plan. All right. So, this was asked to be put on a thing, which I think is a good idea. I think that we need to, who's got the history? I just lost everything.
I got it right here. You can look at mine.
Well, you can get on a guest Wi-Fi
Go-
and get it
go.
back from your link.
Right, go back to the RSU guest, and that gets you in, versus the town one that doesn't
I'm-
work.
Right.
Yeah, wow, something
I mean,
just.
it works, but
All right, I'm sorry.
You need
All right,
friends.
so the comprehensive plan committee, who's got some history on that one from 2003? And I feel we need to start talking about getting a committee together to look at doing it again.
So you've got a couple issues here. The first thing you would need to do would be to form a comprehensive plan committee. And so, similar to what we've been doing tonight, we need to put the call out there, get applications, and then the next meeting start to form that. But if we look at when the last time it was done, obviously a lot of people that worked on that are either no longer in town or no longer around. So it's going to require some work there, but it'd be a good idea. I do believe the comprehensive plan is on the website, so it would be a good idea for people that have an interest on it to take a look at that to get somewhat of a grounding in what was done there, so they can kind of see what the total impact or what the total requirement's going to be, because this is not, when it was done the last time, it was not a quick thing. It was a very methodical and very well put together plan, and the same approach would have to get done. At the same time, we'd have to look a little bit and see what resources are going to be available to us from the state, because there was a lot of assistance we had from the state when that was done the last time, from the planning commission and things like that. So we can kind of gel together an overall plan there. But the big thing is, yep.
Ralph, I don't think there is a state planning office anymore. I think it's been abolished.
Well, I mean, and that's the question is what assistance is going to be available from the
Right,
state
from the
as
state,
far as
right.
So that's some work that we can have Don look into and things like that. But it's one of those that it's going to require a lot of hands.
Yeah.
I mean, is this something that Sebago Technics can help us with?
I'm sure they probably can.
Well, I'm sure there are people at Sebago Technics that can provide assistance. There are probably, planning consultants available. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, there's gonna have to be an appropriation of funds to do this,
Mhm.
which is probably not gonna happen until the next town meeting, I would guess.
Start putting money
Right,
in
but
for it.
you're familiar with my term, all deliberate municipal speed. There's time to get the committee up and running. There's time to, I guess, to get established and develop a plan. Probably by the time you do all of that, you'll be at town meeting.
So when do you think we start to ask for applicants?
Well, I think, maybe the first step would be to contact the state, see what the present state of comprehensive planning is, come back with a plan maybe in a meeting or two, and then, we could talk about soliciting applications if you decide you want to move forward. And it is a thing, it's still a thing. It's whether the state requires it or not, it's something that towns still do. And, if you want to, have a chance of ending up, someplace that you think the town ought to be in the future, to have a plan to get there is the key. And so, I think it's a very good, exercise for us to undertake. And so you want to analyze. I think one of the first things you're going to do is analyze the last plan and see how that worked out. See what we accomplished, what we didn't accomplish, and So I think there's a lot of merit in this whole thing, and so maybe, you know, maybe it's check with the state, you know, see the state of where comprehensive planning is these days. Get some feedback on that, have a discussion, decide to form a committee, take a look at the last plan and come up with a program and plan to move forward on the new one, and then it's going to be months probably before you'd maybe even need a consultant. So
Yeah.
maybe you don't need an appropriation for a while.
Yeah, probably need one at next town meeting, but.
Yeah, maybe.
But I mean, I look at this the same as a strategic plan for a business, you know, where do you wanna go, what are
Yeah,
your goals
that's what
are,
it is, yeah,
you know.
exactly.
Yep, please, thanks.
Peter Levitt, 2 Levitt Road. So, yeah, I happen to know that Joe is right. There is no state planning anymore. That fell through the cracks a while ago with a change in government in Augusta. But anyway, the situation is such that, if I'm not mistaken, with comprehensive plan, that's tied to so many things, like zoning board of appeals, the planning board, revaluation. Where are we going? What are we doing as far as expanding broadband or telephone access? I remember that we went through something a few years back where the town decided at town meeting to go for a cell tower because there was some financial advantages to the town to doing that and collaborating or partnering with a for-profit entity. And then shortly after that, the protected elevations in the town of Raymond that had been specified in the 2003 comprehensive plan were voted no longer to be protected because that cell tower had to go up on top of those high spots. As I recall, the town never, the third-party entity, the for-profit entity, never fulfilled their obligation to build it. They backed out and decided not to do it, so the town really didn't get anything. Unfortunately, the comprehensive plan ordinance was changed such that those vista views were no longer protected in the town. And through the effort of some citizens of the town, and got those vista views protections reinstated. So there's a lot of implications for a comprehensive plan, and looking at, I agree with Joe, as far as a business plan for the town, it affects so many other things. And so the funding, I don't know that you're going to find a whole lot in the state right now for the funding of it. So we should be prepared to make some expenditures in that area. And I don't think it would be too soon to start looking for forming a committee on this. Thanks.
Anybody else? All right. You want to how do you want to move with this?
I think we have Sue post the openings, you know, come back at the next, I'd even give it a month and a half and come back in September with, say if we have any applicants.
Okay.
In the meantime, we can look and see what resources there might
Right.
be available.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we don't need a motion on that, do we?
No.
No.
All right. Okay. Thank you, guys. All right, next one up, recreational marijuana.
Storefronts are aware of. We're looking to open up a very friendly, very professional, safe recreational store which sells recreational cannabis to people over the age of 21.
Okay.
Does that need to be an ordinance change?
There actually needs to be an ordinance.
Yes.
Because you have to opt in, and we have not opted in.
Okay.
So right now,
So you would have to have a public hearing.
yes,
That's right.
and it also has to wait.
You'd have to go through a couple steps. Would first have to go to planning board to look at ordinances.
Right.
Ordinances would have to get drafted. Those would then have to go to public hearings. And then ultimately, it would have to go to, because it's an ordinance, it would have to go to town meeting.
Right.
So there's so many different questions too as to what do we want in the town of Raymond.
Right, at the end of the day, we're basically looking for pre-approval, basically the approval from the town of Raymond to, give us the go-ahead to really start getting the licensing and to open up the storefront. Ultimately, it comes down to getting the approval of the town, which is kind of why we're here today, is we're looking for pre-approval. Obviously, there's a process, planning board changing the ordinance, but we're looking to work with the town. I've been open for almost 4 years, as you guys know. Very clean, very professional storefront, no issues with the town. We follow all rules and regulations. As you guys know, recreational was approved right next door in Wyndham. There's probably about a dozen shops. It's approved in Bridgeton and Freiburg. Raymond